I never thought my life would change in a building with rusty pipes and questionable wiring. But blank canvases never look like much until you start painting. "This is it?" I asked, staring up at what could generously be called artistic decay. The Montrose building stood like an aging movie extra who once had a speaking part but now couldn't remember their lines. My dad's rental van idled behind me, stuffed with everything I owned that wasn't trash, though my inner critic suggested the two categories might be identical. "Apartment 4C, I confirmed, checking my phone. "Someone should be here with the keys." "You sure about this place, Eli?" Dad surveyed the building with 20 years of construction worker skepticism. "Looks like it's held together with hope and cheap paint." "It's all I could afford near campus," I answered, swallowing the familiar knot of anxiety. Plus, my roommate already signed a lease. The mysterious roommate, Zoe Kim. We'd exchanged 14 emails and one awkward phone call after connecting through the university housing board. All I knew was she studied literature and needed a roommate who wouldn't judge midnight typing sessions or excessive tea consumption. The building's front door swung open, and a blur of purple hair and jangling bracelets emerged. "You must be Eliot." The girl bounded down the steps in black overalls over a vintage band t-shirt, her hair asymmetrically styled. "I'm Zoe." "You're exactly on time, which is terrifying. Are you always punctual? Please say no or I'll feel perpetually inadequate." I blinked at the verbal avalanche. I get stage fright answering simple questions?" "Same." She grinned, revealing a slightly crooked eye tooth. "These are for you." She dangled keys with a miniature rubber duck keychain. "The duck is mandatory. All tenants must have waterfowl representation." My dad's expression clearly asked, "This is who you're living with?" I accepted the keys with a smile. I've always felt spiritually connected to ducks. Zoe's eyes widened. "Oh good, you have a sense of humor. I was worried you'd be chronically serious." She turned to my dad. "Hello, parent of Eliot. I promise not to burn down the apartment or convince your son to join any cults requiring more than a modest membership fee." To my surprise, my dad laughed. "I'm Arthur Chen." "Charmed." She bowed theatrically. "I've claimed the bedroom with the suspicious water stain that looks like Abraham Lincoln, but the other room has better natural light for art things." An hour later, after carrying boxes up 4 flights of stairs, the elevator being temporarily out of service since the Obama administration, my dad lingered in my doorway. "You've got my number," he said for the 7th time. "And your mom's." "And Jamie's." "I know, Dad." I arranged my art supplies on my thrift store desk, the one area of my life with perfect order. "I'll be fine. Campus is safe, but some of these neighborhoods." "Arthur." Zoe called from the living room. "Tea before you go?" I have an obscene variety because I'm secretly 85 inside. After Dad finally left with a travel mug of Thundercloud Plum, the apartment felt suddenly quiet. I surveyed my new home, mismatched furniture, large windows needing cleaning, and every surface covered with Zoe's books or plants. So, Zoe plopped onto the ancient couch. "Life story, abbreviated version? I'll determine if we're destined to be best friends or merely cordial acquaintances who passive-aggressively label their food." I laughed. Small town, divorced parents, one sibling, partial art scholarship. Both family disappointment and pride simultaneously. "Schrodinger's offspring," Zoe nodded. "My parents are literature professors who wanted me at their alma mater, but I chose Westlake for Professor Miriam Chen. I'm here for Professor Rivera's mixed media program. Her work on dimensional narrative rewrote how I think about art." "Dimensional narrative?" She leaned forward with genuine interest. "How art tells different stories depending on the viewer's position, distance, angle, lighting." I stopped, self-conscious. "Sorry, I get carried away with art theory. I like people who get obsessive about interests. Means they actually care." She tucked her legs underneath her. "My cousin Leo goes here too, music department. The human equivalent of a golden retriever who plays 6 instruments and forgets where he parked twice weekly. So you won't be completely alone." "Neither will you," she said matter-of-factly. "You've got me now." By evening, my bedroom looked habitable. Easel by the window. Art supplies organized. A few personal items, Jamie and me at the lake, my art books, the bronze sculpture from my high school teacher, making the space mine. Zoe appeared in my doorway. Dinner? I offer instant ramen with an actual vegetable, or we explore the neighborhood. My stomach growled in answer. Exploration sounds good, I said, adjusting my sketches. They weren't level, but that added character. Excellent. There's a place Leo swears makes dumplings worth committing felonies for. She studied my sketches, quick studies of my hometown. These are really good. Thanks. I felt the familiar flush of pleasure and discomfort that came with anyone viewing my work. You capture places like you're homesick for them even while you're still there. Then quickly, anyway, dumplings await. The neighborhood surprised me. What looked run down from the main street opened into blocks of eclectic shops, galleries, and restaurants with string lights. The September air held that particular quality, summer reluctantly yielding to fall. Westlake's art department is that way, Zoe pointed down a side street. Main campus is 15 minutes the other direction. Leo says this neighborhood is where actual creative work happens versus theoretical creative work on campus. I tried imagining myself belonging here. Everyone we passed looked so deliberately themselves, confidently occupying their space while I felt like I was borrowing mine. You've got that look, Zoe observed at a crosswalk. What look? The everyone here is a real artist and I'm a fraud look. Leo calls it first-year face. She nudged my shoulder. Everyone feels that way. Even seniors with fancy exhibitions and ironic facial hair. Is it that obvious? Only to another fraud. She winked. I spent all summer expecting the admissions office to email saying, just kidding, we meant a different Zoe Kim. I laughed, my chest loosening. I packed and unpacked 3 times. Jamie caught me researching hometown community colleges, just in case. We're all disasters. It's fine. She stopped. Behold, dumpling paradise. Halfway through our meal, dumplings worth at least a misdemeanor, Zoe's phone buzzed. Leo says there's a back-to-school thing at Hamilton Gallery tomorrow. Student work from last year, plus free food. She looked up. Wanna go? Good way to scope out the art department before Monday. The thought of a gallery full of strangers judging each other's work sent waves of anxiety through me. But hiding wouldn't make Monday easier. Sure, I surprised myself. Sounds fun. Great. Leo says, oh. Her expression shifted, eyes widening. What? Marcus Westfield has a piece in the showcase. Who's Marcus Westfield? Photography department's golden boy. Senior, multiple national awards, son of Alexander Westfield. The Alexander Westfield? The photographer? Exactly. The genetic lottery gave Marcus both his father's talent and, quoting Leo, cheekbones that could cut glass and a jawline that belongs in a museum. I rolled my eyes. Talented and pretty. Good for him. And rarely seen outside photography labs or exclusive exhibitions. A mysterious artist prodigy. Probably just a normal person who takes good photos and has famous parents, I said, attacking another dumpling. Maybe. Still interesting to see his work. I'm more interested in what Professor Rivera considers showcase-worthy, I admitted. Her standards are supposedly impossible. The blank canvas of my new life waited, both terrifying and thrilling. Tomorrow I would make the first marks.